Process documentation needs a few basics in it. A great approach is to have who's responsible, accountable, and who has the authority first and foremost. It's not just as easy as having a nice flow chart with objects and arrows and all that kind of great stuff. You got to know who is responsible for that, who can change it, and who's accountable to deliver on it. What are the deliverables? You have to define those. What is this process's output? What do you want to come out of it? What's the time cycle of that process? How long is it going to take? How long should it take? And what are you going to do in measuring that? And in measuring, the same thing, metrics. You got to put metrics around every process and know what are your expectations from error rates, turnaround, time cycle, number of units going through it, cost, many different specific measurements you can look at. And last but not least is improvement. If you don't have that process map and those numbers to look at on a monthly basis, weekly basis, whatever it is, you can't take a good hard look at it and improve it and either remove steps, change steps, add tools, and try to make it more efficient. What do you get out of good process documentation? Enterprise risk management is overlooked, I think, and a good process is part of that. The only way you're going to build a sustainable operating and business model is to look at it holistically. So you have to say to yourself, I'm managing the risk of the entire organization. What happens if I don't do well at this basic task? Or if I'm unable to sell more business? You have to look at it in the totality of what you're trying to do in your company. It's often overlooked. In the HR services industry, we find many people who just simply don't have it, won't invest in it, haven't put a culture in place to say process documentation is important. We're going to use it as a tool for all of our conversations about how to improve the business. It has to be constant. It has to be a consistent search for perfection. You have to make it part of the culture, pull out the process docs, look at them, talk about them, look at the measurements. It just has to be ingrained in the company.